Okay, this is a little video about Gnossienne number 3 by Satie. You might recognize it. So there's 3 parts I want to talk about. When you play piano, you have to almost be like a conductor. So I remember my teacher was telling me this. You have to pretend you're 3 different people in this particular piece. So the first importance is, of course, the melody. And you can almost think of that as the singer. For example, imagine this hand is like a beautiful singer in a satin dress singing, and then the bass is the second most important. So again, the singer, the right hand is the most important. Bass is second, so generally be the second loudest. And the chord is almost like a puff of smoke. It has to be very light and gentle. And notice in these Satie pieces, you play the chord twice. So you have to think about the difference. You don't want to play the chord the same way twice. Like an echo the second time. So the first chord will be slightly more important, and the second will be just like an echo. Now why is that? It's because the first chord is held longer. Generally a chord that's held longer has a little bit more importance. But of course the chord is not as important as the bass, because the bass is fundamental. It's also the first beat of the measure, which has a particular importance. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are the 3 voices. You have to get the voicing right or it won't work. If, for example, my chords are the loudest, and this is typical of students, they usually play the chords the loudest. Doesn't sound good. So why do they play the chords the loudest? It's because it's the hardest to play. There's 3 notes here. You have to line up 3 fingers, 3 particular notes. That's hard to do. This is easy to do. Just play 1 note. That's easy. This is maybe a little harder, but not that hard. But these 3 notes, that's kind of hard to play. So generally when it's harder to play, subconsciously we play harder. But you want to do the opposite. You want to play the chords lighter, the lightest. It's sort of, again, like it's kind of smoky. Don't get in the way. They have to not get in the way. The bass doesn't either, but the bass has a sort of anchoring effect. how do we emphasize the melody? We don't want to just push it louder, like, and just crank on it. That gives you a kind of harsh tone. If you just physically beat the melody down. But one more interesting way is to get a little more of the natural weight of your arm above the note. That will naturally emphasize and bring out the melody more, but without a harsh tone. If my hand is dripped here and all this weight of the arm is hanging down, I can't use it. I can only play harder. But here, now the whole weight of my arm, my body can go into the note. And I can pull it, I can adjust it too. I can pull back if I want. And put a little bit less in. A little more. If I go straight up and down, there's definitely a lot of weight in there, and that just brings out the tone in a more beautiful way. It's kind of like a red wine kind of type of tone. Now notice I barely put any weight into the chord. And to emphasize the bass, I'm going to put a little bit of height in there, a little bit of weight. But I'm also going to use a little bit of action, a little bit of movement. Movement can also create accents. I don't have to just push hard to create an accent. I can use the action of my hand. And in this case, the movement is actually a good thing because the movement takes me back up. It's like a ball bouncing off the bottom. Satie, the fingering for the left hand, you're going to use this stride method. So the bass will be usually with the pinky, almost all the time with the pinky. And the chords will be 4-2-1. That way your pinky's sort of available back and forth, and then you kind of separate. It gives you more separation in the sound too, because you have the 4-2-1 for the chord and the pinky is a separate thing. That gives you kind of differential. So what else is there to say? Well, there's a lot to say about Satie. I'm not going to make this video too long, but I'll probably post another video about it because there's a lot more to say, but this video is mostly about the separation of the voices. The right hand, again, is the singer. It has to sing. It has to bring it out. And you can bring it out, again, by lifting the weight on it. You can also use action. And the left hand, you use a little bit of action, maybe not quite so much emphasis. And these chords are extremely light. You can't make the chords too loud. It just sounds bad. It's horrible. So those are the main ideas here. The other idea is well, just that Satie, once you learn one Gnossienne or Gymnopédie, this case this is Gnossienne number 3, it's the same idea, the same kind of action, the same, just mix and match, you know. Once you learn the technique to learn one of these, you can learn them all. So, you know, this one, same idea. The other idea is to, with the chord, so there's 3 lifts here and 1 hold. There's 4 beats. So I lift on 1, put it down on 2, lift on 3, and lift on 4 as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's you lift immediately when you say 1, immediately when you say 3, and immediately when you say 4. The only one you hold on is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's true in this whole piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my 2 cents with the Satie today. We'll see you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe.